Good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock, and we're starting. Okay, I don't know if any of you can hear it, but I'm getting over a cold, so I'm wearing a mask. I have my own mic. The rest of you who are coming up will have this mic here, so you don't have to use my mic. So, as we bid farewell to the year, I'm also bidding goodbye to my time and responsibilities on the council and the board. It's been Thank you, appreciate it. It's been an absolute honor to represent each and every one of you, and I can't thank you enough for all the incredible support like this you've shown me over the past 3 years. Almost every one of you have asked me if I'm glad it is almost over. My answer is bittersweet. It was a challenge, but I feel like I did make a difference, so there's that. All of you and the work you do are the reason we're such a special community. As I mentioned last month, being at the Leading Age Conference amplified that for me in a big way. I have no jokes or stories today. My goal is to thank the people and groups who make what we do here possible. And I will start with the Residents' Council. I hope you long-term residents will bear with me. We have many new residents this year, and I'm going to go into operational details that you already know, but it is essential for the newcomers to know how we operate. First, kudos to the council. Members worked hard, but we also had fun. Remember the spring fling dance? We danced for 3 hours straight and felt like we had run a marathon. But hey, we're going to do it again. A Valentine's Day dance is coming up, so I hope you're all practicing your steps, because it was really a lot of fun. Then there was the employee gift party. A huge shout out to Ann Kelly and her team for making it such a memorable event. We had yes, it was great. We had a few key people on the team who were sick, but Ann still managed to pull it together. The cookies were abundant and delicious, thanks to Linda Merritt and her cookie team for that, and many of you got to go home with bags full of cookies. Beyond the council representing you on the board and with administration, we make the rules for the council and the committees. We are responsible for the money that the market brings in, so we account for all of it, and we help committees with various problems they may face, and the Residents' Council also oversees the Monday Market and the Gift Fund Committee. They're an integral part of our organization. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to Jennifer Stucker and Elizabeth Hoover. Thank you for their tireless efforts in keeping our organization afloat by bringing in the money that we need to achieve our goals. Their efforts form the foundation of everything we do. I have seen and experienced how hard they work, and they would really like some more volunteers to help take some of the load off. So, if any of you want to try, contact Jennifer or Elizabeth, and they'll find a place for you. People love it who work there. And plus, you get to see what's on sale before anybody else. I want to also thank the Employee Gift Fund team led by Sam Sperry and Marcia Almquist. With their team, they managed to collect an impressive, I can barely get this out of my mouth, $510,000 in donations. Amazing, huh? Unbelievable. And let's not forget Cammie Elbow, our administrative assistant, and David Shope, her assistant, who handle the bill paying and many of other financial administrative tasks that Lila used to take care of. This year, the gift fund was able to gift $2,600 to full-time employees, Subsequent tiers based on hours worked were $1,820, $1,300, $650, and $260. We even had $52 checks for employees who did not have the required minimum hours but were on staff on October 31st. So nobody came to the party and went home without an envelope. Our committees worked hard and produced many fantastic programs. As you know, each committee plans and executes its own programs independently, and the council allocates funds generated by the Monday market to the committees. This year we had about 60 active committees, and we received 50 annual reports. Thanks to everyone who sent in their reports. They're invaluable resources for those who take over your responsibilities when you don't want to do it anymore. So if you haven't sent a report in yet, you can still prepare one and turn it into Marion Mura. And if you want to review reports from prior years, because you're working on a committee and you want to see what they did, or for whatever reason, Marion or Diane Tinker can give you access to the archives. And if you have a wonderful idea for a new committee, bring it to the council along with your budget needs, and we will review the idea, or they will review the idea, no longer we, and make a determination on whether they can support it financially. Over the past couple of years, we've made several changes in how the council operates. Thanks to Carol Roach and Marianne Anderson, who helped me revise and simplify our operating documents, we now have a streamlined operations manual that everyone can access on HH Connect. And thanks to Carl Swenson, who formatted that and made that all possible. As I mentioned last year, it's impossible to highlight the achievements of all the committees, or just some of the committees, while ignoring others. Each of you has done an incredible job in educating and entertaining us, making our community the unique place that it is. In my 5 years at Horizon House, this year has been truly exceptional and probably brought us back to our pre-COVID glory. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and keep it up, because next year I will have time to enjoy some of your programs, and you'll see me in here. So here's to a wonderful year ahead, and here's to all the amazing things we've accomplished together. Now for Erica. And, okay, just so as not to spread my germs, there's a mic here for everybody else, and I'm keeping mine.
To follow. Deanna, we can't thank you enough, and this won't be the final thanks. We still have the annual meeting. However, I mean, we cannot thank you enough for all of your hard work. It was wonderful becoming a part of Horizon House and being able to see kind of up close and personal the amount of work that goes into leading Residents Council. It's just tremendous, but it is what makes us who we are. So thank you for your service. I want to talk a little bit about some bright spots, and so I want to kind of continue with the messaging around the holiday party. It was amazing as usual. It was my second party, but I have to tell you, it just took me back to my childhood. My mother worked at the telephone company, and they would have this big family party every year for Christmas. And so, you know, it really made me committed to Michigan Bell Telephone Company as well. So when I grew up, and I had this huge sense of pride that my mother worked there. But again, it was because I had this experience, and while I didn't really know much about it from a corporate stance, I knew they threw a good party. So seeing all these wonderful families who come year after year to this Horizon House party that's put on by residents, it really brings me back to that. And I felt such a sense of pride to bring my daughter, who's quite the introvert. But when we got in the garage, she said, "That was so much fun." So, you know, just to have those kind of memories and to have people associate work with this kind of fun and caring environment, that's really what shapes people. And so thank you again to the residents. I know I put on lots of events. I kept thinking about how much time and effort people spent making this party a success, and it was flawless. So thank you for the party, but then the generosity. I say this over and over again. The organization of Horizon House is indebted to the residents here. We couldn't do the things we do. We wouldn't be the organization that we are without your service, your gifts, and all of the love that you give to this organization on behalf of not only you and your friends here, but really for residents to come. You set the stage. So thank you for your generosity. I want to share a little bit from the employee side. So, we also had a little holiday cheer this year. We had a wonderful white elephant manager party, which was great. A part of being in Horizon House, it's easy to work together, and you all know that from Residents Council, when you have time together to spend, to get to know each other. So our managers and directors had a great time, really spending some social time. And then the leadership team volunteered at Atlanta Street Center last week. We helped sort presents during their gift drive. And that's really looking at all the service that our residents give to both Horizon House and the greater community, and us emulating that. And so we went out and we've been serving, and this is something we'll continue to do twice a year. I want to introduce you to someone. Robert Derby, can you stand up? He's in the back, and give a wave to everyone. Robert is our new director of IT. He started on December 2nd. Robert is coming here. Many of you who attended the Fireside Chat learned about Robert, but I wanted to say a little bit more. So Robert came to Horizon House. This is his first time working in senior living, but he is experienced. He is coming most recently from the Dallas Opera. So all of our opera lovers in the house, please talk with Robert and kind of share some comparisons. But I wanted to share something very special. I had mentioned kind of at my talk the last time how important it was for us to bring the right people on board who would be a good cultural fit. And Robert is just that. He said to me, he moved his desk around and said, I want to be able to see residents as they're coming by and, be able to communicate and send a message that I am open. He also talked about having resident office hours. He wants to make sure that he is accessible to you. So stay tuned for that. He is going to be publishing some office hours when you can stop by, drop in, get to know him, share your ideas, share your complaints. But he's open for all of that. So let's welcome Robert. Wanted to give you a bit of an update on the West Tower. We are still plugging away in the reservation deposit phase. December is one of those months where, people are traveling and doing different things, but we are still at 68 reservation deposits, but we have 3 apartments on hold as of today. And on hold means people are getting ready to put money down. They may be going through the final phases of maybe the financial qualification or getting money wired, but we are hoping to close out 3 sales by the end of this month. We had a wonderful retention event. Thank you to all the residents who supported that event. Your attendance means so much. Not only do these new prospective residents want to get to know each other, but they want to get to know you as their new neighbor. It was great. This event was for prospective residents or depositors who've already put down their 10%. We had it at the Mohai Museum. It was a great success. I know that there was really this thought that people would meander throughout the museum and see all of the wonder, but really they just wanted to spend time talking and getting to know each other. Today I am really excited. I want to welcome Love & Company. They are on site this week. Can the members of Love & Company stand up just so everybody can see who you are? We are so excited to have Love & Company here to support us in telling our story. And boy, don't we have some wonderful stories to tell here. Love and Company will be on site for until Thursday, and many of you have already participated. They've had one resident focus group already today, and there are more to come. So thank you all who've said yes to coming and participating. It is important for us that Love and Company get to know who we are really quickly so that they can help us tell our story. So thank you to having them on site. This is not just the first of many visits. They're going to have a part 2 with some other team members in mid-January. We're having 6 focus groups with a variety of residents, people from our wait list, West Tower depositors. And then today from 5 to 6, we'll have a resident reception in the Fireside Lounge, and we hope that all of you can join us. Again, with the types of focus groups, there's a lot of questions that are asked. But that social time, when you're just having a reception, that's a chance to tell your story, really talk, and get to meet people in a more intimate way. And again, it's really the spirit of Horizon House that we want them to walk away with. And so I also want to wrap up with letting you know that our next fireside chat is Friday, January 31st. So it'll be a long time before we're together again. But I want to wish you all happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah, which is really nice that they're on the same day this year, or you don't celebrate either of those and you're looking forward to a new year. I just want to wish you a wonderful holiday season and thank you for everything that you do.
One more thing that I forgot, because I forgot to advance the slides. You know, Nancy and Cassandra do the Ducks in a Row program where you get your paperwork all legal and in good shape for your heirs. And when people do that, they get a little Ducks in a Row sticker to put on their badge. Okay, so since the last time Nancy announced people, these are all the new people who have gone through their program and gotten their sticker. Ellen Carlin, Shan Cretin, John Hamm, Charlene Hutchinson. So we're doing employees too. Carol Madigan, Dan Madigan, one of the Nancys. There are many. Mary Ann Seibert and Jim Williams. Congratulations, all of you, for doing the right thing. And whoops. Now for Brian on how the pendant system works.
Thank you. Speaking of ducks in a row is an expression of being organized and having everything done. Deanna, working with you and your leadership is an example of lovely to work with her. She's very organized from an operational perspective. So thank you for all of the leadership that you've provided for the residents in the community. So Deanna asked me to talk about our pendant system, which is about your safety. So we're going to go over that today. And so we have a notification system here at Horizon House. It's called Our Care. And it has the pendants. How many people are wearing their pendant now? Perhaps some are and some are not. And so we encourage you to have those for your safety. And there are pull cords as well. And so we use this in assisted living as well as in independent living. It is a web-based system that is at the reception center, where when it's activated, we can see that, and it's always running up there. And we have a dedicated computer, actually, which is in the back area of the front desk. So we have a computer that's always running with the Our Care system on, so that if there is an activation. There's 3 parts of this system. One is the pull station, so you should see one of those in every one of your restrooms and in every restroom in the community. And then there are the wearable pendants, which I was asking how many people are wearing those. And we have some that are always in the aquatic center and in the wellness space hanging on the wall, things like that. Yeah, Barbara, I see you have yours on. Excellent. That's a pendant. And then the third portion are the motion detectors that are in all of the apartments, typically between your bedroom where you sleep and the restroom, that we pick up motion, because when we get up in the morning, typically we go and use the restroom, and so that shows us that there's motion. So if ever there's an emergency or you need assistance, if you pull the station of the pull cord, it is a wireless communication that goes right to our care. And the thing about the pull stations is that we can program them for the exact location of where they are. So that if it's in the restroom over by the Myrtle Edwards room, it's programmed for that. We know exactly where it's activated from, or your apartment number is on there as well. Whereas the wearable pendants that you have is either a necklace or a watch bracelet. You push the button to activate it. It has programmed on there your name and your apartment number. And so those work differently, that I will explain shortly, but we have those programmed to the person, not necessarily to the location themselves. And the pendants work in all of the internal areas of Horizon House and out on our terraces. So those communicate to receivers that you may have seen on the walls in some areas. There's some in the room here up on the column. And so the pendant transmits to the receiver that detects that signal, and then that goes back to the computer at the reception center. So as you can see on the screen, between the pull cord and the pendants, when those are activated, they go to the receiver that then transmits to the web-based system, and then the staff see that, and then they respond. So what happens when a pendant or the system is activated? So when a pendant is pushed at the reception center, they will see the name of the pendant that's issued. It'll have your name on it. And what it does is it will communicate to the receivers, and it'll pick up the nearest receiver to where you are standing. So if we activated one in this room, it would show Brian Holtz, Anderson Hall. Perhaps it would be out the one that's down around the corridor. It'll even pick up the receivers that are a floor below us. So it'll triangulate of that signal. Whereas the pull cord, as I described, will give us an exact location because they're programmed to where they are mounted to the wall. So what happens when it's activated is that the staff will get that notification that your pendant is activated. And if it is displayed on our computer screen of the same floor as your apartment and near your apartment, then we have a pretty good idea that you are in your apartment when it was activated, and the staff will immediately call your apartment on the telephone. If you answer, we're going to say, "Are you okay? Your pendant has been activated. Is there an emergency?" If you're indicating to us that there's an emergency that we can ascertain from that, we will call 911 for you, or we may just activate a tower call nurse at that time based on what you tell us. However, if nobody answers, we're concerned, so then we will launch a tower call nurse to come to your apartment. And be aware that the tower call nurses are up in our assisted living area that has a couple of floors. It's spread out throughout our campus, so perhaps it can take time depending upon what that tower call nurse is in the midst of doing. However, as soon as they get that notification, they will respond to your apartment. If we have your pendant in common areas, like I described, where it's being picked up not on the same floor of your apartment, sometimes we have it where we're seeing it's down in the gym, it's being picked up in the library area or in the fireside lounge. The reception center staff will then get on the two-way radio and call for staff that have radios to go and look for you to make sure that something didn't happen out in a common area and we're searching for you for safety. Some sometimes we see where the pendant's on the 3rd floor, then the 5th floor, then the 8th floor, then the 9th floor. Gosh, I think Ned's in the elevator and he accidentally bumped his pendant. However, we're still going to go and investigate on that. And so that one can take us sometimes a little bit more time to track down exactly where the person is, but we do not stop searching until we find the resident. So I kind of went over that fast because we have a full agenda that Deanna has, but as a reminder, those are safety tools that you have to protect you, your pendant and all of the pull cords that are in the various restroom and locations. But as a reminder, if ever there is a medical emergency, do not hesitate and dial 911. And you want to let the dispatch know of your apartment number. If in doubt, you call 911. And if able, after a 911 call is placed, we want to contact the reception center so that we're aware, so that we can hold the elevators for you, for the first responders, and to have the staff prepared to meet people at the door. And if you ever need a nurse, you can call the reception center and request for a nurse. And of course, if you push your pendant and pull station as I described, you will get response from that. So if there are any other questions on our care, you can find me. Immediate question? Yes. So the question was, how long do the batteries last on the pendants? It depends on how often they're activated, but we usually see 2 years, and we don't replace the batteries because they're sealed. We just replace the pendant. Another question that didn't be asked, but gosh, since I know it's a question, is can I use my pendant in the pool? The pendant says that it's weatherproof, but not necessarily waterproof. So it's not recommended to wear it while you're swimming. That's why there's a number of those in the aquatic center, and we use the buddy system. Yes, Doris? Question was, do the pendants work in stairwells? And yes, they do. It works everywhere inside the campus and out on the terraces that we have and in the parking garages. Yes, question. Question was, do we have nurses here 24/7? And yes, we do. In assisted living, we have nurses here at all times. It's our tower call nurse process that we have to protect you. So if you have your pendant and your gosh, is my battery getting low? I'm not sure, which we get a report and we know it. If you ever want to test your pendant, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can call the reception center and say, hey, is now a good time to test it? And Zoe may say, it's really busy right now. Maybe call me in a few hours. Or you can stop by, as Amanda suggested, just come by the front desk. And if they're not super busy, you push your pendant and they're going to see it come right up on their computer screen, and you'll have assurance that it is functioning. Yes. Both will work as it shows on the screen. Both are an effective way to get that call to dispatch. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. I can answer additional questions on us anytime you come and find me on the RCare system. It's there for your protection. And Ronnie's next.
Thanks, Brian. So I'm going to deviate from the agenda slightly because it's time for more accolades for Deanna, so I'm sure she won't mind. I just want to say a few things about her leadership over the past 2 years, serving as resident council president, and of course 3 years being on the residence council. She has kept us all very well informed through meetings such as this, and she has represented us on the Board of Trustees. I know that on the Board of Trustees, although I haven't been there, but from what she tells me, she has shared her views very frankly and honestly at all times. And then she has reported back to us about what has gone on. She has taken a myriad of emails, phone calls, in-person discussions with residents and with administration. And I have seen a few of those lately. and she has answered all of those very completely and in a very timely way. Hardly a day has gone by when she hasn't had one or another important meetings to attend. As mentioned, she has gotten the Residence Council house in order by updating the bylaws to conform with the actual procedures and gotten that procedures manual written so that we all know what we're supposed to be doing. She's been a superb coach for me. She's done everything possible to ensure a smooth transition to the new presidency starting in January. So on behalf of all of us, Deanna, thank you very much. Please stand and we will applaud you. And let me just say that several of us attended a program on caring for orchids today, and several of us can give you advice if you need it.
Yes, I need it.
First, I want to make an important announcement. I'm saying this first so you all pay attention and remember. Starting in January, these meetings will begin at 2:30 instead of 2 o'clock. And will run until 3:30. And of course, the people who are available in the Fireside Lounge will be there at 3:30, just as they have been at 3. We're doing this to accommodate what used to be called the OK Corral, now the Horizon House Singers. With the new leadership of the singers, there are so many more participants, and they always rehearse from 1 until 2:30 every single week. So, you know, like 35 people have been missing out on being able to attend this, so we thought this would make it possible for more people to come. Good. Glad you approve. Let me share with you who will be on the Residence Council this coming year and what their assignments are going to be. The Executive Committee, of course, will consist of me. And let me ask Residence Council, as I call your names, we're not on burning questions. Did I press the wrong thing? I think I may need Deanna as assistant for a whole year to press the remote. Anyway, I'm going to ask the Residence Council members, as I call your name, to please stand up and kind of wave at everybody so they know who you are. So the Executive Committee will comprise me, of course, and the Vice President for Programs will remain Ned Lang. And new to the council and new to the office of Vice President for Administration is Carly Swift. We're very glad that Karen Perret will remain our secretary. And equally glad that Karen Smith will remain our treasurer. Now, the resource persons. This is a new name for what we used to call coordinators. These are the people who will help all of the committees, each of the committees, as you need help, if you need help, not tell you what to do, but be there as a resource for you. So for the activities rooms, we have Bill Jones continuing in that role. And I'm not sure if you want me to read these lists, but maybe I should do it quickly, just so you do, so you know which are the activities rooms. Art studio, computer room, knitting group, plant potting room, sewing room, woodworking shop, and the wrap room. Wrap room, by the way, is my favorite place in this whole building. Then arts participation will remain John Longris, who seems to be trying to escape. Well, he stayed long enough to be acknowledged as the resource person for the art committee, the flowers, that's the flower arrangement, holiday decorations, Horizon House singers, and the string-alongs. A new member of the Residence Council is Pam Mitchell. Pam, are you here? I didn't see her come in. But Pam, who has a background in nursing, by the way, will be working with assisted living. So that's the connectors, the people who meet regularly with people who are living in assisted living, and the flowers that are flower arrangements that are made there, and the musicians. Next, Ann Kelly will be the resource person for what we're now calling community life. Community life is communications, dining services, spirituality, Veterans Day, and the Welcoming Committee. And then Sam Sperry. Sam, you're here, aren't you? There's Sam. Sam will continue as the resource person for the discussion groups. That's the Apple users groups, history lectures, Let's Talk Science, and the secular humanists. David Perrin. David, there you are. David will continue working with the education committees. Those are diversity awareness, the election forums, and I'm going to pause here because the election forums committee currently has no chair. And if we want to know how to vote, we'd better have those election forums. So please, if you have any thought at all of continuing that very, very important committee, please do volunteer to chair that. You can come up and talk to me or a current member of that committee. And then, of course, got your ducks in a row, which we just mentioned, the library, neighborhoods, and world concerns. Bonnie Miller, who is new on the council. Bonnie, where are you? There she is in the back of the room. Bonnie will be the resource person for entertainment, and that includes a new committee, chamber music, also Friday night films, opera events, photo support, Saturday night movies, Sunday musicale, and perhaps everybody's favorite, Wednesday Night Live. And then Josie Miller. Josie, you're here. Josie will continue working with Environment and Well-Being, which comprises the Environment Committee, the Garden Committee, Low Vision Hearing Challenged, Medical Equipment Room, which is new as a committee. Ruth Mulligan has been taking care of that equipment for a long while. Resident Safety and Wellness. Barbara Knight, I didn't see Barbara. Is Barbara here anywhere? Oh, there she is, way in the back. So turn around and wave to Barbara. Barbara is going to be the resource person for games. That's American Mahjong, Bridge, Mexican Train Dominoes, Poker, Pool, Puzzles, Rummy Cube, and Scrabble. And lastly, we have social events. Jeff Graham is the resource person for those. And that includes our birthday receptions, our dance committee, and mark your calendar for February 14th, the employee holiday party, the Halloween party, New Year's Eve party, and it looks like we need a chair for that too, and the summer picnic. So that's all the resource people. Let me just mention that we're very glad that Marcia Almquist will continue with the Employee Gift Fund along with Barry Eben. And again, Cami Elbow and David Schaup as office managers, Marion Miura as archivist, and then of course the Monday Market. We're thrilled that Jennifer Stucker and Elizabeth Hoover are continuing in that role. And Ned is next.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to all of you who are participating in our activities and programs, which you have heard listed. There are 60 of them. They are what make us such a great community. And especially thanks to the chairs and leaders of those activities. I'd like to ask if you are a chair or a leader, facilitator of an activity, would you stand up, please, and accept our thanks for what you're doing for Horizon House. The new program book is being printed in its very limited edition. As I have said earlier, it will not be distributed in your cubby. All of the information in that book is on HH Connect, so you can always go there. The program printed book will also be available in the library section of the resident council section of the library, and there may be a few extra copies there if you absolutely need one. Keep in mind, as I told you before, the price of this limited edition is 3 times what the prior one was. A reminder that with that information that's in the program book and on HH Connect, of all of the committees, if you wish to sign up for a new committee, you can do this at any time. We are not having a big annual drive to sign up for activities because you don't have to sign up again if you're already active. And that was a good share of those who were signing up every year. But if you wish to participate in a new activity, and by participation, I don't mean merely attending the event that the committee may sponsor. You don't have to sign up for Friday night movies to attend the movie. You're welcome at any time. You don't have to sign up for Horizon House Singers to attend their concert, which is tonight. No sign up required. Please feel free to come. So if you wish to sign up for a new one, contact the committee chair, and that committee chair is listed on HH Connect, and if you wish, go to the library section. If you absolutely need or feel a great desire to possess one of those books, they are available. As I say, a few may be in the library, but you can always email me and I will put one in your cubby. And any questions? Yes. The book is, yes, in a word, the book is primarily being printed for new residents. Thank you for reminding me. Who that book is really designed for, because they can contemplate and review, and instead of having to spend all their time in front of the computer screen, can look at a hard print copy. Thank you very much for reminding me. Any further questions? Thank you very much, and I will turn it over to Karen Perret.
Hello. The minutes of the November 19th meeting, regular meeting, have been circulated, mildly corrected. And if there are no other corrections, they shall stand approved as printed. Karen Smith.
Well, we are coming up to the end of our year.
I signed a lot of checks yesterday as everybody's trying to get all their expenses in and reimbursed. But anyway, I just want to thank you all for all the things you do to make our finances work. That's working in Monday Market and spending your budget so carefully, and I really appreciate that. And there's so many things I appreciate about all of you, and it is really gratifying to see the care that everybody gives our group and the resources we have to work with. I think the budget is complete for the year, and hopefully you all know what it is. You can see we're kind of using up some. We had a surplus. I mean, we had a more income than expenses, but this month we gave $10,000 to the Partners in Caring, to the Employee Gift Fund. I take that back. I'm sorry. And we also gave. We're giving $500 to the library because we did give $2,000 to Partners in Caring. So all those things kind of added to our expenses for the month of November. Anyway, so here we are. We've got a half a month left, and we're on to the new year. So the next person is Jennifer.
Greetings. As you may have noticed, recent Mondays have been busy in the market. In addition to jewelry and book days, the holiday offerings have been very popular. December numbers should be good. I am reporting now on November numbers. The total deposit was $7,611.96, with an RA check of $2,025.66. During this month, we had a day and a half of clearance. We continue to experience volunteer availability difficulties due to a variety of factors. In response to this, and as an introduction or initiation to the market in the new year, Elizabeth and I will hold a gathering in the market on Saturday, January 11th at 3 o'clock to orient new volunteers and new potential volunteers and encourage exchanges with the current volunteers. Announcements are appearing in the alert, and we encourage all current volunteers and new veteran residents to attend. The cashiers and accountant volunteers have also been invited. Cookies and punch will be provided. Those of us working at the market on Mondays appreciate your compliments about the appearance of the marketplace, its displays, and the quality of the merchandise being offered. All the volunteers put a great deal of effort and energy into making the market work. In general, we succeed, but there is some concern about the future. Is the secret sauce getting passed on? Is it an inviting option for involvement for the new residents? Those of us who work in and for the market are true believers. We feel assured of its longevity. But as we all know, it takes a village. So I hope to see you on Saturday, January 11th at 3 o'clock. Now you should know that next Monday will be your last chance for holiday items. And upcoming will be the New Year's Eve finery and dinner and nightwear. Now I hand it over to Linda Merritt.
Speaking of New Year's, I hope everybody will attend that plan on it and wear whatever you like. If you want to dress up, great. If you want to wear pajamas, well, okay. So Jim Hitter and I co-facilitate the B2 computer room. The computer room consists of 2 PCs, one of them relatively new, one of them's getting a little bit old, and a Mac computer. Jim handles the Mac, I handle the PCs as best as I can. There are several regulations. One of them, don't bring any food or water into that room. Another one is we no longer have personal, in previous generations, everybody had their own account to use the computer. It became a nightmare, particularly when someone died. So the new computers are just use as if you went into a hotel and were printing your boarding pass. However, there is the ability to save your work if you need to on a thumb drive. And we also have a brand new printer, which was part of the enrichment grant. It is probably the best computer at the moment at Horizon House. If you have problems with the computer, the printer in the mail room, the one downstairs in the B2 room is always available, including being able to print from or print to thumb drives. The only other thing is that we do request that you sign in both on the printer and on the computers. We're maintaining statistics, find out whether this room is useful, and also it will depend on its future. Many of our, I wouldn't say rival, but many of our places like Murano and Sky down the street. Sorry, I'm having jet lag. I just came back from a trip and I haven't quite recovered. Many of them have what they call business centers for residents. This has been discussed, but not for a couple of years now, and we're not sure what the outcome will be for the computer room. But the statistics that you create will often help us determine whether or not 2 years from now a computer room is necessary, or we should have something else like a business center. So that's basically what's there. Hi.
Has the printer a color printer?
No, it's just black and white. Oh, repeat the question? Sorry. The question was whether there's a color printer. No, the new printer is a monotone. We did receive a color printer as a gift from Charles Curley, but that printer did not work. So, so we need to dispose of it. I need to find out what they like to do with it. It's too expensive to run the color one. If you desperately need cover, negotiate with the front desk. Yes?
What's the difference between a business center and a computer room?
I'm not sure, except that, oh, I'm sorry. She's asking what the difference between a business center and our computer room. From what I gather, they are listed on the websites of other facilities as amenities. And I understand that Murano's is first class. They went to hotels and checked everything out. So I presume it includes maybe like our mail room with computers in it. I'm not sure. But it does have computers and many of them with the ability to fax things. Anything else? So next is Ann Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm here to let you know what the burning question of the month is this time, and it's as follows. Why do residents often smell diesel or exhaust odors in the hallways or elevators early in the morning? And we have a pretty thorough response by Sean McMahon. This is likely related to the monthly emergency generator testing that is required by the city to remain in compliance. Horizon House, along with nearly every property surrounding us, performs this testing of the generator equipment during the early morning hours in order to minimize the disruption that this work creates. When Horizon House performs this generator testing, the facilities team recognizes the potential for the associated fumes entering the building. So preventative measures are taken to minimize this from happening by shutting down the HVAC equipment, which could pull in the fumes. Depending on outdoor conditions, temperature, wind direction, etc., we occasionally still experience the fumes in the building for a short period of time, especially when the neighboring property is the one conducting the generator test. The fumes typically only exist for a matter of minutes, as our HVAC systems that serve the hallways and elevator lobbies circulate 100% outside air only, rather than recirculating. This effectively clears the fumes in a very short period of time. Very thorough response.
Thank you, Ann. Deanna had to leave. She has a very bad cold, and she just wasn't feeling up to staying longer. So I will field any questions that I can or refer them on to the right person. Do you have any questions? Yes. Thank you. I forgot to mention that Ann Kelly will continue doing burning questions, so she will be there after every meeting. Any other questions, Bill?
A number of us can still not get 370 RTVs. Where is that project?
370, where are we? Anybody? Risa, can you respond? Oh, the question is that many of us cannot get the Horizon House station, the HH370, on our televisions. I think that's particularly in Central and East Tower, and Nick will respond.
While I don't know the full extent of which towers have the outages, a lot of facilities has that kind of under wraps. We have been hearing from Comcast itself that there's a part that's expedited to Horizon House. They haven't given us a timeline yet, but this is what I've heard from over their emails. So I'm kind of more or less a secondary person in hearing most of this information, but yeah, that's what we know, at least Risa and I know. Oh, and Risa is also trying to set up a room in the West Wing. So, you know, we have HHTV running in this one specific area where people can come in and use that room for HHTV or any other cable things too, so.
Good. Barry? If you didn't all hear that, the question was, is the part supplier for the HHTV the same one that we're expecting for the elevators? Any other questions or jokes? Yes, David. The question is, how do you convert a pendant to a watch? And when I got mine, there was both a pendant and two plastic straps to put the pendant on. Is that right? Risa, do you know the answer to that?
You could see Jay at the reception desk and have her put a work order in to have your band changed.
Okay, everybody hear that? talk to Jay at the front desk, or, you know, that side desk, and she will help you with converting a pendant from, you know, a thing that you hang on your chest to one that you put on your wrist, or vice versa. Any other questions? If not, if you want to have comments about dining services, Doris will be in the Fireside Lounge. Is Bill Coriston here? No, Bill will not be here to take Bill Coriston will be outside to take your questions or comments about both communications and the resident safety committee. And Anne will be there to take your burning questions. And anybody else that I've overlooked? Computer room. Lynn, will you be out there to talk about or take questions about the computer room? Was that your comment, Ned? Can you be there for a few minutes, Lynn, in case people have other questions about the computer room? I know you're jet lagged and you want to go back and sleep. But if you can be there for a few minutes, that would be nice. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, then we are adjourned. Thank you.